Look at this, an iPhone 14 Pro Max with a huge crack across the back. My friend took it to Apple Care for a quote, and because the body was slightly bent, they said he'd need to replace the entire phone chassis for $549, just for the back glass and minor bend. Crazy, right? Stick around, because I fixed it for just 30 bucks, and you can do it yourself too. No fancy tools required. Step 1. Remove the 2 pentalobe screws at the bottom. Keep them in a safe spot. You'll need them later. Now, we'll remove the display safely using only a plastic sheet. Start from the bottom edge and slide the sheet gently into the gap. Work your way up the right side slowly, then move to the left edge, always keeping the sheet flat to avoid damaging the frame. Finally, separate the top edge and lift the display carefully, like opening a book. Remember, there are fragile cables inside, so no pulling. Next, remove the screws holding down the metal shields. Take them out carefully and keep them organized so they go back in the right spots. Once the screws are out, lift the shield gently. Now, use tweezers to disconnect each connector slowly. Don't rush and avoid pulling on the cables. Once all connectors are free, the display is completely separated and ready for the next step. To make this easier, we've locked the phone in a stand so it doesn't move around. Removing the back glass can be messy, so be patient and go piece by piece. Don't rush like this video. The key is to keep the heat moving at around 80 to 100 degrees Celsius so the adhesive softens without damaging the internals. Once it's warm, start lifting the glass pieces gently with tweezers. Always wear gloves and eye protection because the shards can be sharp. Work slowly from the edges toward the center, and if you feel any resistance, apply more heat. This step takes patience. Rushing can bend the frame or damage the wireless charging coil. In real time, this process can take 10 to 20 minutes, but for now, watch as we remove every piece one by one to prepare the phone for the new glass. Keep the heat moving and moderate so you don't damage internal components. Once the adhesive is soft, start lifting the glass pieces carefully with tweezers, working from the edges toward the center. Focus on one section at a time, applying more heat if a piece is stubborn, and always wear gloves and eye protection to avoid cuts from shards. Slowly remove each fragment, making sure not to bend the frame or touch internal parts like the wireless charging coil. Continue this process, piece by piece, keeping the heat even and using the tweezers to separate every shard until all broken glass is removed. Take your time with tricky corners and edges. Patience here ensures a clean frame and a perfect fit for the new back glass. Now I'm using a laser blaster pen to target those stubborn glass pieces. A quick press helps break the hard shards so they can be lifted easily. This step makes removal much safer and cleaner before we continue. This is the tricky part, working around the camera bump and top edge. Continue using the hot air gun to gently soften adhesive just around the camera area. Move evenly to avoid overheating. Then with steady hands and tweezers, pick out every shard piece by piece, starting around the bump and working outward. Focus on removing only one fragment at a time. It takes patience. If you hit a stubborn shard, apply more heat and be gentle. Too much force can warp the frame or damage the lens assembly. Keep sweeping the area clean, checking for tiny glass bits migrating into the lens housing. Wear gloves and eye protection throughout. Once the entire section is cleared, lightly wipe the edge so the new glass adheres cleanly. Leaving even the smallest bit behind can cause bubbles or a poor seal. This slow, measured method ensures the hardest part of the repair stays safe, the frame stays true, and the install of the new back glass will be flawless. Now, we're moving to the section above the wireless charging coil. This part is delicate because of the components underneath, so I'm taking it slow and steady. No extra heat here, just careful pressure with the tweezers. Every move matters to avoid damage. With the main glass removed, I'm making sure every tiny shard is gone, because even the smallest piece can stop the new glass from sitting flush. I'm checking corners, grooves, and under the camera bump for a clean, smooth frame. We're not done yet. Look closely, there's still tiny shards of glass hiding in the corners and around the camera bump. These little pieces can cause big problems later, so I'm taking my time to get every single one out. The trick here is patience. I'm using the tweezers to gently lift out those stubborn bits without scratching the frame. Always work slowly. Don't rush this step because any leftover glass will stop the new back panel from sitting perfectly flush. Even a small chip can create a gap or pressure point that cracks the new glass. So I'm double-checking the edges, the wireless charging coil area, and every curve of the frame. Perfect prep makes a perfect finish, and that's what we're aiming for. Now, let's apply the white adhesive, an even layer along the edges and corners for a strong seal bond. I'm using a strong white gum and spreading it evenly around the frame. Make sure you don't miss any edges. This is what secures the back glass firmly in place. A neat layer here means a clean. Next, the satisfying part, placing the new back glass. I line it up perfectly, press gently but firmly, and make sure it sits flush, just like from the factory. And there we go. Job well done. Everything's looking perfect so far. Taking the extra time for those small details really pays off, doesn't it? To keep it locked in place, I wrap the phone with rubber bands for 3 hours so the glue cures evenly. Like you see, I'm not using any fancy tools here. Look at that. Absolutely flawless. The back glass fits perfectly, no gaps, no uneven edges, and the phone looks just like brand new. And the best part? It works perfectly too. So, if this video helped you, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need it. More amazing repairs coming your way soon.